name's Maurice Broaddus, speculative fiction writer. I write science fiction, horror, fantasy. Been writing for about 15, 17 years or so. Afro-Futurism as a term, it was coined in, I think it was 1994. Mark Derry, he's a scholar, wrote a paper called Black to the Future, and was making note of all the different themes that seem to be present in different works of African Americans and science fiction works. So that's where the term first popped up, but that was that's the mid-90s. But our work predated that. So Afro-Futurism isn't just about the writing. It's about the art and how we as Black people use that art. That Afro-Futurism is sort of like a framework. It's a way for the African American, or actually the entire African diaspora. We look at our present dilemmas and just sort of use speculative fiction as a way to sort of navigate those spaces. It's looking back as a way of looking forward. So it's using our history and who we are and recentering it on that as a way to move forward, to navigate that space to move forward. A lot of people talked about, oh, well, obviously we're living in the era of the book 1984. Like, well, that's all fine and good. We're living in the era of Parable of the Sower, if you bother to read that. So if you can go all the way back to Sun Ra, look at the mythology he created around his jazz work. Same with Parliament Funkadelic. And you can fast forward all the way through Missy Elliott's work, Outkast, Janelle Monáe. You look at how they use these elements, these science fiction elements, as a part of their artwork. There were two authors, Samuel Delany and Octavia Butler. For a long time, that was all of our representation in the science fiction field, is those two authors. And a lot of us, we look at it as we live in the shadow of Samuel Delany and Octavia Butler. And in fact, many of us look to Octavia Butler in particular as saying, she made it possible for the rest of us. So she was one who broke down a lot of doors for us. She was one who inspired a lot of the way we approach story. So that's why we sort of center Octavia Butler in sort of the history of Afro-Futurism. So part of my hope for this conversation series is that we do introduce these writers to people, to add their voices to this ongoing conversation. And starting with Octavia Butler, continuing with Nnedi Okorafor, because she has a series of novellas called the Binti Trilogy. So that's one of my big hopes, is to just sort of not just introduce these works to people, but examine in these books, what are these authors, what course are they mapping out for us? What are some of the elements we can actually use to apply to our situation today?